Hello, my name is Talia. This is my new YouTube-inspired personal portfolio website I programmed from scratch. With each video representing a unique skill-building experience, visitors can visually navigate and learn about me and my internships, club leaderships, personal projects, and more. I wanted to make this video specifically to talk about why and how I made this. Back in 11th grade, I tried making a personal portfolio website. Seeing others' creative personal sites with unforgettable themes and layouts, I knew I wanted to do more than a generic Wix or Squarespace. Only problem was, I had only just picked up on HTML and CSS. It seemed those designers and developers would take their best skill or hobby and turn that into their site's basis. And for me, I was always most confident in my CAD and 3D modeling. So, I made these 3D effect buttons in Blender, and don't even get me started on that logo. I basically took an isometric view of my initials, T and H, but it just looks like a fence. A few years later, I tried again. With my leveled up programming skills, I decided to turn the blocks themselves 3D. This is actually just a neat little CSS trick using the transform attribute. Unfortunately, I hadn't the time to work on building it out further. This summer, I decided to take a stab at the portfolio again. I realized that what I truly resonated with wasn't 3D modeling, but rather my elementary school beginnings in video creation. Not gonna dox my old channels, but I was always proud of my high-effort creative project videos despite the low view counts. It didn't matter to me if the comments complained about the poor quality or if there weren't any comments at all. I simply enjoyed being brave enough to share my ideas and personality with the internet. So, what better way to showcase a YouTube addiction than make the theme of my portfolio say a frame inception copy? This was the first iteration. See the resemblance? But in just a few hours, I quickly built out the homepage, and if you didn't notice, it's actually the slightly older YouTube formatting, because that's what I grew up with and prefer. I just thought this layout would be better for the social links and buttons. Now I get to highlight all the design and navigation of my portfolio site, which you can definitely check out as well. The homepage features the channel trailer, a quick intro to my past, present, and future, as well as some carousels for my most significant work experiences and personal projects. The Videos tab is labeled Experiences, with every one of my most fascinating adventures. The backend for this is just loading a whole bunch of mini YouTube players inside iframes and playing around with the dimensions and view areas to crop out unwanted YouTube insignia. The thumbnail becomes clear on hover to see the iframe hidden beneath, and I also have a script that secretly resets each video's time position one by one so that you're always able to see the best shots. Playlists organize the videos by type or skill. I saved all the data as nested arrays and wrote functions to specifically select and create a new array with the experiences that have the matching criteria. With this site, just like I do with my project videos, I want to show a different perspective from the result-oriented resume, emphasizing one of my greatest strengths is that I'm not just all talk and will actually put in a high amount of effort and skill to get things done. The Skills tab was inspired by YouTube Shorts, collecting all the experiences and projects that contributed to each skill in a compact format. I was almost planning on taking out this category because it's kind of a pain to dive through old archives for progress photos. But in a way, it was also quite nostalgic remembering the successes and failures in my past as I generated brand new collages. I saved the collages into labeled folders and let the program compute and sort the content from newest to oldest. Finally, there's a self-explanatory About Me tab. I know what you're thinking. What happens if you click on a video? Well, it looks like this. The main block is either an actual YouTube video, an interactive website, or a slideshow of images/videos. It was pretty fun to design this area to look just like a YouTube video, including the darkened screen that appears when paused, turning off the parameter that allows mouse interaction with the iframe website. And seriously, it was such a struggle picking out values that would properly display the embedded websites without them being weird or showing off any logos. The play, pause, and full screen buttons are actually functional. There's quick access to the company or project info and the description of my role and achievements. The right panel contains a list of clickable links or slideshow page shortcuts. followed by a randomized stream of more experiences to read, categorized by mutual skills and tags. Usually, navigating to new pages on a website would load a brand new HTML file to replace the current page. The process changes the URL, making it easy to navigate to specific pages. However, I didn't want the trouble of creating a new file for each work experience and project, especially if they were all going to have the same layout. So that's how all of this dynamic loading JavaScript was written to be able to process the data, as long as I have inputted an entry properly. I added code that would change the hash, so entering a URL with the appropriate keyword would take you straight back to where you left off. But the Backpage button isn't exactly functional. Allow a few seconds of appreciation for the additional hours spent calibrating CSS for a phone-compatible layout, which was done by separating sections for when the width-to-height ratio was greater than 1 versus less than 1. And that's about it! Just in time for summer internship application season. Hope the employers have some fun with it and not get too confused. Seriously, please give me some feedback whether I should keep the style or start over with something a bit more reasonable. I hope you enjoy learning more about me and my journey to today, from my first encounters with innovation to my path of solidifying a career. I guess one thing that I'll probably always be a bit concerned about is the usability and readability of the site. I've always adorned minimalistic, clean-looking portfolios, but something crazy like this actually reflects my personality and creative tendencies. There's like too many places to access the same content. Everything is everywhere, and while it may be a visual haven for someone like me, I can understand how others might feel overwhelmed by the colors. Hopefully the CV button is accessible enough for a straightforward visitor. Thought I might mention a few more features I was considering but didn't get the chance to implement. The awards tab was going to be a community-style post feed, but then I realized I don't even have many recent awards to show off. Given the quantity of mini YouTube frames that would have to be loaded simultaneously, I was planning to implement a dynamic load as the user scrolled down. But along with the search tool, I gave up as school started and I was too busy to mind the extra work. Last step was to register my name as a domain and link it over in GitHub. Well, that's about it from me in this video. I've left my code open source on GitHub if you're interested in that, but I beg you don't replicate my idea of a creative portfolio or it won't be so creative anymore. Thank you for watching!